So is this the flattest shooting handgun we have in the collection? Welcome to the MuzzleBroke channel, ladies and gentlemen. We have a really cool 1,000-round range for y'all today, featuring arguably the most fun handgun we have here in the collection, and that's going to be this bad boy right here, a 22LR handgun that we have named the Raptor. In this video, we're going to go ahead and give you an introduction to the system, going through what this gun actually is. We'll go ahead and go over the specs of this bad boy, diving into what compromises this build specifically. We'll go ahead and take you to the range for some first shots with the gun. We're going to go ahead and compare the Raptor to some other 22 guns that we have in the collection. We'll of course cover the performance of this gun over the 1,000 rounds we shot through it, which will include some accuracy testing as well. We're going to go over what I feel the best uses for this handgun are, and we'll go ahead and tie everything together and go over my final thoughts of this build. So kicking us off here, what the hell is the Raptor? So the Raptor is actually a name that one of the subscribers gave to me for this gun, and I just really like it, so it stuck. The Raptor is actually going to be a Frankenstein build with all these aftermarket upgrades based off of the Ruger Mark IV 2245. And this is a completely aftermarket gun. There are no Ruger parts on this build whatsoever. For our upper and bolt assembly, we are rocking some parts from Volquartsen, and the lower components of this system are going to be all aftermarket parts from Tandemkross. So let's dive into some of the specs of the upper and the lower, and then I'll go ahead and tell you what I think makes these parts just incredibly special. So for the upper of this gun specifically, this is going to be the 6-inch Mamba compensated upper from Volquartsen with the fiber optic front and target rear sight. This does have a 6-inch threaded barrel, and from Volquartsen, this did come with their single port threaded on compensator system. This upper is composed of Type 3 anodized aluminum with our stainless steel match barrel, and is made right here in the USA. This upper is featuring the competition bolt from Volquartsen as well, which gives us an extended charging handle, a DLC coating, and actually ships with 3 different spring weights so we can tune the weapon efficiently. The lower featured on this build is going to be the tandemized Cthulhu lower from Tandemkross. This lower is fully metallic. Notable features on this lower include an enlarged trigger guard, textured backstrap and grip, as well as an accelerator forward thumb ledge, extended bolt stop, extended mag release, victory trigger, and a thumb safety ledge. And all of those upgrades together really just make for an incredibly fast, flat shooting, and very comfortable system. Not that our basic 22 handguns aren't a ton of fun, they of course are, but putting together all these aftermarket upgrades from Volquartsen and Tandemkross really just makes for a very interesting package. Probably the biggest eye catcher on the upper is going to be this very large compensator. Now this does attach to a threaded barrel, so we could take this off and suppress it or add another muzzle device if we would like, but the very large single port comp is obviously a little bit of a fashion statement, but also works incredibly well to help keep our muzzle flip down. I'm a huge fan of the competition extended bolt as well. Definitely makes charging the gun super easy, and of course helps with performance of the system also. And the features on this Tandemkross lower are just really incredible as well. Starting off with the grip, we have a nice, beautiful texturized rubber grip with these finger grooves here, as well as a textured backstrap and that oversized trigger guard that not only gives you a really good grip, but is also just incredibly aesthetic as well with the beautiful red Cerakote. Also on the lower, we have our extended mag release, which is incredibly easy to actuate, as well as this really prominent gas pedal for our support thumb and enhanced safety for our dominant thumb. With the enhanced safety and the gas pedal, you can really get an amazing purchase on the gun to again help with muzzle flip and speed. Lower does come with this extended slide release as well, and one of Tandemkross's upgraded triggers, the victory trigger. Now I know you're not supposed to dry fire 22 guns, but do as I say, not as I do. We're gonna ghost this trigger together. So we got a little bit of take up there. We're gonna hit that wall, trigger breaks, and the reset, little bit of motion here, trigger reset, and trigger break again. So putting all those upgrades together, we not only have a very beautiful pistol, but an incredibly functional pistol as well. And the performance of this gun was incredibly easy to see when we did the first shots. So first shots with the Raptor, let's go. It feels like you're not even shooting. Like I keep checking to make sure the casings are coming out, because with this comp, like this is nothing. I have never shot a gun with less muzzle flip in my entire life. So the first shots for the Raptor here were arguably some of the most surprising first shots I've taken with the gun. Now, obviously it's 22LR, I didn't expect there to be much recoil, but between the big old comp and how well I was able to grip the frame just due to the thumb support ledges in the grip, this thing did not move. I would say it felt like shooting an airsoft gun, but like, to be honest, I've shot airsoft guns with more recoil than the Raptor. And that just made this an absolute blast to shoot at the range. But the performance of this gun was really notable when we compared it to some other 22 handguns. So obviously the Raptor here is an incredibly speedy 22LR platform, but let's see how it stacks up next to some other 22s. We got the Ruger Mark IV Tactical here with a Fletcher Rifleworks Taquito suppressor and some aftermarket upgrades from Tandemkross. And then we actually have my very first gun. This is going to be the Ruger Mark II Target, another 22LR gun that I do actually have a lot of trigger time on. So we're going to be running some modified build drills with these 3 guns and get a comparison. Oh yeah, and we're going to be doing 10-round build drills because 10 rounds in the mag. Felt good, felt smooth. We got a 1.99 with the Ruger Mark II. Ruger Mark IV is next. So the suppressor actually makes it too quieter to stop the shot timer. Well, so obviously we didn't get a great time there, but who cares? Moving on to the Raptor. So a 1.58 with the Raptor, just an incredibly speedy platform. So it really wasn't too surprising to me that this gun shot the best out of the three. We just have the most upgrades into it. All the parts from Volquartsen and Tandemkross are just incredibly well made and really allowed this gun to shoot fast, smooth, flat, and really shine when we compared it to some of its peers. But how accurate was the gun? Did it perform over 1,000 rounds? Did it malfunction? We're gonna talk about that right after a word from our sponsor. Boy, oh boy, am I poor. Hopefully the sponsor of today's video will make me slightly less poor and save me a little bit more money. And today's sponsor is HolsterBin. HolsterBin is going to be an incredibly awesome platform for us that we can not only pick up some used gun gear for a really good price, but also sell some of our own garbage that we're not using anymore. Definitely check them out at myholsterbin.com and take a look at all the grips, optics, holsters, gizmos, gadgets, gear that some of our brothers and sisters in the 2A community just didn't have a need for anymore. The site is incredibly well made, easy to navigate, easy to use, and can definitely help you build out your next gun for a little bit cheaper, or help you make some money and get your wife off your back for having too much gun stuff piled up in the garage. God, I wish I was married. So do me a favor, check out HolsterBin, myholsterbin.com. There are definitely some friends of the channel. They have supported me, so I would really appreciate if you could support them. Thanks, everybody. Okay, back to the Raptor. So let's dive into the accuracy. For a 22 LR handgun, accuracy is actually very important to me. I do hunt, I am a hunter, and the 22 LR handgun has historically been my squirrel slayer. I really do like to carry some sort of 22 handgun with me, regardless of the main game I'm after, whether that be hogs, deer, pheasant, whatever. Having a 22 is very important to me during the hunt, just in case I come across some squirrels or jackrabbits or some sort of small game, because I really don't want to be shooting at a squirrel with a 45-70 lever action. So we of course needed to test the Raptor accuracy. So we're at the back of the range here, we're about 35 yards. Let's pop off 5 rounds as slowly and as carefully as we can, and let's see the accuracy of this sucker. All right, let's take a look. So actually a really good grouping here. Again, that was about 35 yards. We were running this with a dot, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, one little flyer there, but that's a pretty darn good grouping for the Raptor here. Very accurate system. So we were happy with those accuracy results. Certified squirrel slayer, check. So let's talk performance and malfunctions. Obviously, y'all have already seen how the gun shoots. She performs, but does she jam? Having this gun jam was actually a pretty big concern for me before I took it to the range. And that's really just because it's chambered in 22 LR. I have shot the absolute hell out of these 2 other Rugers that we have, and both these guns shoot really well, but I have had a significant amount of jams. And typically that's just due to that rimfire 22 LR kind of crimping and doing weird stuff in the gun. And historically with some of our 9mm upgraded handguns, the more aftermarket work we do and the more we kind of tweak the system, the more unreliable the system gets. So I was just a little concerned that I would have to spend the 1,000 round range review of the Raptor sitting here clearing malfunctions all day long. And that absolutely just wasn't the case. I mean, I was really surprised. This gun ate 1,000 rounds easy peasy. We didn't have any jams, we didn't have any malfunctions, we didn't have any weird crimping of that 22 LR. The gun just ran. And y'all know this is the MuzzleBroke channel. We weren't using super high-end 22 rounds. I think I used about 5 or 6 different types of ammunition for this range review, just because I had like so many odd and end 22 boxes just laying around in the ammo closet. So I just took all of it and we were just running it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, some of that 22 ammo is probably from like the 1970s, 1980s. My dad and grandpa have given me tons of 22 LR over the years, so we have ammo spanning the course of like 50 years, and she just ate it, no malfunctions, no jams, chef's kiss. I was impressed. So let's talk about what I feel the best uses for this system would be. The first thing that comes to mind is a 22 LR competition race gun, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know if you could get a build set up better than this. We have an incredible upper. We have a threaded barrel with a very large compensator that really does help to mitigate that muzzle flip. Again, obviously 22 LR is not a snappy round, and especially with that comp on her, she shoots flat. And I attribute a lot of the smoothness of the action and the performance and lack of jams due to the upgraded bolt. I think the competition bolt helped out quite a bit in that regard and really helped the system perform. And again, with the lower, we have some awesome placement for our thumb, as well as an awesome grip and an awesome upgraded trigger. This just screams competition race gun to me. You can adjust the trigger to your liking, you can go ahead and change out springs in the bolt, and really get this gun functioning how you want it to function for speed and efficiency in a competition setting. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you this is a home defense or protection gun, because it's just not. It doesn't make sense in those roles. So we're obviously not recommending this for an everyday carry or self-defense situation. But funny enough, there actually is another use that I really do recommend this build for, and that's gonna be my new shooters out there. I mean, obviously I am incredibly wrapped up in the firearm space, and I have a passion and love for it. But not all my buddies do, and not all my cameramen do. And I've really found it valuable to teach fresh and green shooters how to operate, manipulate, hold, and shoot firearms on this system. Number one, it's not giving you a snappy recoil impulse, and that just makes new shooters feel a lot more comfortable. Since it's a 22, it's incredibly cheap to shoot, so, you know, I don't mind spotting a buddy 200 or 300 rounds to come to the range and just have some fun. The biggest value that the Raptor gives to new shooters, in my opinion, is gonna be your thumb placement. Whenever I'm teaching somebody how to hold a handgun and shoot, they kind of understand the basics of getting your palm up real high, interlocking your fingers and grabbing the gun, but like every single time they seem to do some really weird stuff with their thumbs, and I don't really know why, but having the gas pedal for the support thumb and the enhanced safety for the dominant thumb gives our new shooters kind of an idiot-proof way to place their thumbs. And mastering that skill, of course, is going to transfer to other guns. So whenever I have a not so experienced shooter coming to the range with me, I've really been making it a point to take this gun, have them get comfortable with the grip, thumb placement, recoil impulse of a firearm before stepping them up to some higher calibers. So my final thoughts on the Raptor. She's sharp, she's big, she's bold, she's speedy, just like the dinosaur. This is an incredibly fun upgraded 22 gun. It shoots ridiculously flat and ridiculously fast, and I just love the attention to detail and craftsmanship that really went into the parts of this gun. Amazing upper from Volquartsen, amazing lower from Tandemkross, and putting these parts together really just makes for a nice setup. This is arguably one of the most fun range toys I have. I'm able to take this to the range, shoot a ton of rounds really cheap, not have any malfunctions, have a really pleasant and fun shooting experience, and just have some fun, man. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this is the most practical gun we have in the collection, because it's not. I'm never gonna use this as like a nightstand gun, how I run my Glock 17, and I'm never gonna be concealed carrying this like I do my P365. But what we are gonna do with the Raptor is take her out to the range, shoot her fast, have a good time, teach new shooters how to shoot, and just enjoy our time with a very well-made platform. So boys and girls, there it is, the 1,000 round range review of the Raptor. I had a ton of fun putting this build together and filming this range review, and I know this was a highly anticipated video, so I appreciate you giving me the time and letting me pump out the content. If you guys could hit me with subscribe to the MuzzleBroke channel, it really would mean a lot to me. Apparently, only 5% of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so it's free to do. Help a brother out, subscribe to the channel. It not only helps me out, but we have some really cool range reviews coming to the channel, including the Zastava M91 AK Sniper and our Marlin Dark Series tactical lever action chambered in 4570. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. Y'all go ahead and have a safe and amazing week, and I will catch you guys at the next MuzzleBroke video.